Envirovalve, we're trying to introduce our new pressure relief device. It's a non-reclosing pressure relief device that will be useful in large diameters, 8 inches and up applications. The main difference between our device and some of the options that are already out there, like buckling pin and rupture disc, is that we use a pin in shear rather than a buckling pin or a disc that needs to replace. This allows the user to be able to manually reset the pressure relief device without opening up the line, and it is a simple shear mechanism which makes the time to change the pins is very quick. Shear pin devices have been introduced in the past, and they've been plagued with various issues that stem from poor manufacturing processes and lack of available materials. So what we've done is we've taken a step back and we've looked at the shear pin devices anew, and by introducing metal seats and a preload on the pin plus a variety of other design improvements, we've been able to come up with an economical, high-quality pressure relief device for your needs. Our pressure relief devices are adjusted for the different set pressures or opening pressures that our customers require by using the same diameter and material pin across all of our valves. We then groove this pin in 2 locations, essentially putting the pin in double shear when it is put inside our pressure relief device. We vary the depth of this pin or these grooves to adjust for different set pressures. Before we ship out any pressure relief device from our manufacturing facility, we test that pressure relief device 3 times, and we also test our pins every 6 pin during production. An additional 12 production pins are also held back from delivery and sent to a third-party lab for shear testing to ensure that we can accurately provide replacement pins to our customers. Well, as we stated, we, along with our testing and inspection reports of our production run, we take at least 12 production pins to a third-party testing lab where they shear test the pins for their strength alone. Then, when replacement pins are required by our customer, whether they be 2 weeks after delivery or 10 years after delivery, we simply pull those inspection reports and production reports along with our test reports. We then manufacture the new replacement pins and test them against our third-party data to ensure that the pins we send down have the same deformation qualities and strength qualities as the original pins. Fatigue effects and short fatigue life has been a common obstacle of shear pin devices. The way that we have approached this and the way that the solution that we have come up for this industry problem is by introducing a preload into our pressure relief device. This, in a sense, insulates our pin from the lower normal operating pressure oscillations. So instead of our pin constantly going from 0 to 50% of set pressure and back, shortening the fatigue life of the pin, our pins don't see any loads until they get up in the 50, 60, 70% load. All the small normal operation loads do not cycle our pins. And the other advantage we've done is we've looked at proprietary tungsten alloys that have very good fatigue life in general. So we're starting from a much better place than devices have in the past. Our preload, the preload that we introduce to insulate our pins and retain our pins in our pressure relief device is adjusted at the factory upon initial assembly. The preload is set and determined through pressure relief tests and the data we gather through our data acquisition and our test stand. Once dialed in, our pressure relief devices are sealed at the factory, so they won't be adjusted in the field either intentionally or inadvertently. The metal seals that are present, or the low deformation elastomeric seals in our valves, ensure that our valves will have the same behavior over time. Some common feedback we got from customers in the industry is the tracking of our pins. Typically in the past, the pins have been inserted into labeled boxes or had paper pins wired to them. We found that over time, as these sit in inventory rooms, that these markings both fade and that the pins can sometimes be torn from the tags or removed from the boxes with no way to identify them again. To address this issue, we now have our pin part number, which is identified on the pressure relief device, which pin part number it needs to achieve what set pressure. But our pin part number is engraved directly onto our shear pin heads. So there's no ink to fade over time and no tags to fall off. We can confidently say that resetting the an Accu-Shear device in the field once it is set is the shortest time in the industry. Obviously, with ruptured discs, when you have to break down the line and clear the lines of any noxious gases or vapors, you can spend a lot of time, you can have a lot of downtime when it pops. The buckling pin and the shear pin devices address this issue by having a replaceable pin outside of the line. Our shear pin, Accu-Shear device, by far the most significant factor in the downtime of your line is how long it'll take you to get maintenance personnel to the device, because the resetting is just a matter of seconds. Well, the other issue that we have found in the industry of resettable pressure relief devices is that there's sometimes an inconsistent opening pressure. One of the biggest factors influencing this is the amount of stick or seating torque on the seal. To address this issue, we introduced metal seals, and using the platform, the industry-proven platform of a triple offset metal seated butterfly valve, we were able to create a pressure relief device that essentially has zero opening torque to overcome. And that is within any temperature or medium, because there's no swelling, there's no inconsistencies of thermal expansion between the seals and the device itself. So one of the main advantages of the metal seals is just consistent opening pressure. And then the other obvious advantage of using metal seals over Teflon or some sort of other elastomeric material is that it allows for an extremely wide temperature range, and also exposures to very corrosive and harmful substances. This allows us to go from all the way from cryogenic up to over 800 degrees F. One of the biggest things that our customers require in the pressure relief device is that an ASME certification. And to that end, we have gotten our Accu-Shear pin pressure relief devices line certified in the fall of 2013. This line is certified for pressure ranges from 5 to 45 psi and from 8 inches in size up to 24 inches in size.